Hey there, nice to see you. My name is Ben. In today's video I will teach you 15 bluesy jazz licks by the modern blues legend that is Matt Schofield. If you want to improve your blues improvisation by implementing some fresh ideas and very cool licks, then this video is for you. Let's check out the first lick. Now for the first lick there are two variations. One where he goes to the 4th chord in the key of A. That's really a Albert Collins style lick where he bends the G flat to the G note, which is in the key of A, the minor 7th interval. And Albert Collins really was known for that staccato style bending. So we're only bending this a half note up to a G. And he's sliding into that bend. Then goes back to first position, very cool interval change. That's what Albert Collins really was awesome on for these high interval changes. And when he's there, then sliding into the major third of a 4 chord, foreshadowing the major third of a 4 chord. And then it's hitting the bottom part of a 4 chord, in this case the D7-9. Here you have to roll your ring finger. And then just stab that. Now in this other version he used that lick to go to a 5 chord, which you can do as well. The start is exactly the same. But he then goes down the scale to the root note of the 5 chord, the E. And I'm pretty sure you could use this lick also of the 1 chord if you wanted to. You just have to play a note from the 1 chord, so the root note of a major third. Something like that. Now that is a very cool, flashy pentatonic sequence where he's mixing major and minor intervals. He's starting out here in the BB King position, still in the key of A. And he's sliding from a minor third interval to the major third interval. A very cool, bluesy thing to do. So I'm playing the 5th here at the 12th fret E string. And the major 6th interval at the 14th fret of the E string. And he's repeating that line numerous times. You can actually do it as many times as you would want to. That's a very cool repeating lick where you have a lot of freedom. But he then continues by bending up the major 6th interval a half tone up to the minor 7th interval, also mixing major and minor intervals. Then some vibrato here on the 5th. And then he's sliding up to the root note, the A, and is applying some heavy vibrato there. And then you could continue further. Now there's a very jazzy bluesy lick of the 5th chord on the key of B flat, and then going to the 4th chord and then the 1 chord. So we are really talking about the last 4 bars on blues here. And now normally here the 5th chord would be an F dominant 7 chord, and he's playing the following finger with it. So really bringing in some dissonant notes here, which bring up a lot of tension, but that's why it sounds so cool. It's really outside play. It's really all playing this or the F7, F dominant 7. Because he's really leading into that note, which is the major third of the F dominant 7 chord. For a second here you could say he's playing a C minor chord. And then goes chromatically to the A note here. So from the start, very weird beginning. Because this really outlining a C minor chord here, a C minor 7. So I would say rather than playing over the 5 and the 4 chord, he's really just replacing the 4th chord here by playing notes going over the 5 chord. He's then jumping here to the 10th fret G string, and then the 5th interval of the 1 chord here, the 6th fret B string. Then a quick hammer on and pull off on the major third, and then the root note. Now this is really a trademark lick of Matt Schofield. I've seen him use this a lot of times. Now this is going to 4 chords, so we're still at the 1 chord. Awesome, the key of B flat. He starts out by bending that minor 7th, that minor 3rd interval, sorry. Then doing this little Stevie lick with the pull off. And this little cool double stop. Raked into that, reverse raked. Then going down the scale. And he's oftentimes also raking here. Always reverse rake. And then what he's really known for is accentuating the major thirds. And I've seen him do this a lot of times, sliding into that major third, also a very jazzy move. And then this pull off to the major third. And then to the root note of the 4th chord, in this case E flat. And now we have arrived at the 4 chord. So from a start. Now Now this is a lick which you can see Matt Schofield and Josh Smith play a lot of times, often over the 5 chord of the 1 chord. It really is a blue note lick. It plays around with that. We are still in the key of B flat, and he starts out at the 5th interval. Then we are walking up the scale with the major 6th interval here. Then a slide into the major 3rd. Again, major 6th hit the B string. And now this is really the important line here. That bend up into the minor 7th interval. And then that pull off and slide into the blue note. And then again, highlighting the major 3rd of the 4th chord. Very cool sequence. So he's really starting this already with a 5 chord at the bar 12 or the 12 bar blues. And you want to hit this line to hit when the 1 chord is arriving. So kind of like that. You should really try that out with a backing track in that case. Now this is my favorite lick of Matt Schofield, going over 5 chord bar 9 on the blues. So really going from the 5 chord to the 4th chord and then to 1. That's how he ends it. So it really starts out by going into the major 3rd, and now it's the 1 of the 5 chord. 1. It's really a chromatic line. Then here playing around with the blue note, and with the octave of the A note here with the thumb. Really played around with this, that's very, very cool. Now that's really the jazziest line of all. He is accentuating the major 7th interval, which is not normally heard that lot in the blues, but it creates some beautiful tension here. He's in the 2nd position, mixing major and minor. So here it's the major 6th interval. Then the minor 3rd here, we're in the key of B flat, that's important. With the pinky at the 11th fret D string, the minor 3rd, in regards to the 1 chord. And then he jumps to the major 7th interval here, at the 9th fret, at the 7th fret of the D string. Then he walks up the scale in a very interesting way. Again, accentuating here the major 7th. Catching the blue note here as well. And then here again, major 2nd interval and minor 3rd interval. You have to imagine all of this happening over the 1 chord. And that's at least where you should at least learn this lick, because from here you can break out into different points in the pentatonic positions. Here is accentuating the major third. Here is accentuating the blue note and then the major third. And then here again, going back to the scale to the root note. If you enjoyed this video so far, then please subscribe to the channel, it would really help. And let's continue. This lick is very cool to go to the second position. It's also playing around with the major thirds of the 1 and the 4 chord, although this is all played of the 1 chord. We are in A, and it's important this starts on the offbeat, so 1. So it starts out here at the root note, walks up to the major scale, the 5th, then slides from blue note to a 4th, it's playing a arpeggio of the 4th chord, it's essentially. And then it's sliding to the major third, 5th and root note at the B and E string, and then slides into that B root note. So remember, you have to play this on the 1 offbeat, so 1 and 1. Now that's a very cool pentatonic line in the key of G, and in the 5th position. Now he's hammering onto the 5th interval on the B string, onto the 15th fret, and he's playing the root note with some rubato. Then plays the minor 7th here, 13th fret E string, and it's then playing around with the blue note with a slide here. Then he's walking all the way down the 5th position. Until it arrives here at the A string at the 15th fret and sliding into the blue note. Goes down to root note. And then for a transition to the 4th chord, he's playing the 15th fret A string. Just applying some rubato here. Now this is really a Clapton style, Stevie Ray Vaughan style lick to go to a 5 chord in the end, and he's using this a lot on a shuffle. So he's sliding to the major third, plays the 5th and root note, does a pull-off thing from minor 7th interval, slides from a blue note to a 4th interval, pull-off to a minor 3rd, and is then essentially walking all the way down to 5th. Just make sure you bend that minor 7th interval just a little bit. And then apply some heavy vibrato on the 5th. That's a really cool Albert King idea to play. Now, Albert King was known for bending a note really to full tones, so 4 frets. That's very difficult to do on the guitar, but it makes them for some very interesting melodies, for some very interesting interval jumps. And Matt Schofield is doing that or exploiting that idea. He had the high first position in A. And he just starts out by playing root note twice, giving it some good vibrato. And then he's gradually bending that minor third, first just a 4-step, then a little bit more than a full step, 1.5 steps, and is continuing the bend until he arrives at 2 full tones. It's really some power behind that, so make sure you really dig into that bend. And it's okay if you catch more strings, but it's really difficult to do. Just make sure you arrive at that full 4-fret bend. Now that's a very interesting way to go to the 1 interval. So he's playing chromatic line, starting here at the 5th, then jumps to the D string 4th fret, and then we are at the A. Then he jumps all the way here to the 4th fret of the E string, implementing that major 7th interval, again, and slides twice into the root note. So we're doing a really big interval jump. And then some vibrato on the minor 7th interval. And then some mixing major minor. You really want that A note to land on the 1 of the 1 chord. So he starts out this line on the 5th chord and is resolving the tension with arriving at the A. Now that's a very clever way to go to a 4th chord, and again he's accentuating the major 3rd here. He starts out by playing the major 6th here, again mixing major minor intervals, starting at the 1 chord, bending the minor 3rd, then playing around with your blue note by sliding into it and out. And then, very cool way, he's hammering onto the major 3rd of the 4th chord. So the 4th chord here is a D7, and he's hammering onto the F sharp, which is the major 3rd of the D7. You could think of this like another inversion with the major 3rd on top, but he's directly jumping to the G string to a root note of a D. It's also a very popular spot for him to play in. Here it is. The spot right next to the 1st minor position in A, but he's really mixing major and minor in that spot. Very cool spot to play around in. Now that's also very cool to go to a 4th chord in the B.B. King position of the pentatonic. Now we are here in the key of G. He's sliding into the 5th interval on the E string here, right at the B.B. King position. Sliding in that from the 4th note, from the 4th interval, with his ring finger. You can also rake into that note if you want to. Then playing that little Eric Clapton style thing with your blue note. And then eventually arriving at the G note, the root note. And now this little line is very, very signature for him. It's a really cool way. By mixing major and minor, he creates the tension. He plays the major 2nd interval, goes to the 5th interval, what would that be? The major 3rd interval of the 4th chord. Because remember, the 4th chord in G is C7. And then he plays the minor 3rd. And it's also going to the 3rd of the 4th chord, but applying some heavy vibrato. And that's the point where the backing band is arriving at the 4th chord. That's the point where you gotta hit the 4th chord. It's a very, very cool way. Now, if you watch until then, you should know that Matt Schofield is all the way about accentuating the important intervals, one of them really being the major 3rd of the 1, 4, and 5 chord. So he's doing the same thing with this lick. In this case, he's going to from the 1 to the 4th chord. That's all of the 1. And then suggesting the 4th chord with this little line here. Only tricky part is here he's playing with his fingers. You could play this lick with a pick as well, but he's doing that in that video distinctively with his fingers. And he's rolling with his ring finger here from the 4th interval to the root note. Really suggesting the 1 chord here with the major 3rd. Really cool line. If you learned something in this video, then please leave a like, subscribe to the channel down below. Also consider supporting me on Patreon. You will get downloadable tabs, early access to all my videos, and you will be part of a very cool community. Also, for this video explicit, you will have the tab and video to learn a 12-bar blues solo in the style of Matt Schofield. That is very, very cool. It's taken from an older record of his, And yeah, I would really like the support, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.